Hello my lovelies, welcome back to Miss Independent Juki. Thank you for skipping on. Today we are going to talk about cults. Around the world there are a lot of cults. People speak of cults, people talk about witchcraft, people talk of a lot of stuff, demonic kingdom and everything. But what is a cult? There are situations where you will find yourself in a cult but you don't know you are in a cult until things start. You might end up serving the god you didn't know you were serving, or you might end up into something and you will want to give up or come out of it, and it will be so tough for you. So as today I was reading some articles, I landed on an article of some cult former member, but this is a sex cult. It isn't about blood, it isn't about any legal stuff. So she was writing about her story that she was in a sex cult, and she says there is a particular interesting group of humans on the planet. They go by the name, I will not say their name, allow me. They are a cult, but they do not think of themselves that way. It's easy to see why. They aren't marrying off 14-year-old girls to old men with dozens of wives. They aren't committing mass murder by requiring followers to drink any flavored stuff. They usually aren't doing anything illegal. Their thing is so peaceful. But it's so calm, and it's not breaking laws, but in the end you'll find yourself being in a cult. Okay, so why does she think she was in a cult, and why does she call it a cult? If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, and if you are my returning subscriber, thank you for always turning in whenever I upload a new video. So let's go into our video. She says they aren't doing anything illegal, but they are huge appropriators of First Nations ceremonies and traditions. They operate an extremely weird secret sexual society called the Lodge of, I'll not say the word, I'm so sorry, where women are instructed to have sexual intercourse with randomly assigned partners in blazer ceremonies. She says she never participated in that. She's thankful, but she was asked to. Like, she participated in other activities of this cult, but she did not participate in this particular one of where you are required to sleep, or you are asked to sleep with random partners or random guys they have chose for you. She never participated in it, but she participated in the other activities, as you will see to her words. And they have every one of their followers convinced that what they are doing is extremely healing and beneficial for the planet. Like many others who find themselves involved in a cult, I was going through a difficult time in my life. I was finishing up an embarrassing art master's degree. I was facing the reality that the education I had just spent 50,000 US dollars on had zero value in the marketplace. And I was also dealing with emotional aftermath of a traumatic upbringing. PTSD and depression were majorly impacting my life on a daily basis. And then a friend invited me to a special event. She described it as a Native American sweet lodge. Okay, there are these things they call the sweet lodge. And what is a sweet lodge? A sweet lodge, to my understanding, is some small hut. It's built in a hut form where people go for it's called, like, where people go to do some culture or cultural purification ceremonies. To my understanding, that is what I call a sweat lodge. So back to our video or our story. She was told, or I was told, it was a sacred ancient healing ceremony. I was told it offered physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual and sexual awakening. Okay, as a person struggling, we all know if you're struggling with depression, you are struggling with PTSD, you're struggling with anxiety, you're struggling with stress, you might end up going or you might end up landing into yourself stuff you do not understand because you are looking for a place of comfort. You're looking for people who can understand you. You're looking for people who can get to know you better. You think these normal people or the people around you cannot get you. You think they do not know what you are going through. So you want people who know what you are going through. And this is how people make mistakes in life. If someone is going under any traumatic situation or going under any depression, stress, anxiety, all that stuff, mental illness, and they do not end up into cults, they do not end up into into bad company, they do not end up doing stuff they will regret later. You trust me, that is like rare to find because most of the people when they're in this situation, this is when they are most vulnerable. They can end up making biggest mistakes of their lives that they will regret. So this is how she got initiated into something she did not understand at that time, that it was a cult. Back to our video, and without giving it much thought, I decided to attend. That one event changed the course of my life for the next 10 years. Gradually, I stopped hanging out with my friends. They were starting jobs in other cities, getting married and having babies. Meanwhile, I was attending meditation classes, full moon pipe ceremonies, trance dances, breathing circles, and spiritual talks. I was becoming part of a new community of welcoming people who seemed to get me, and it felt absolutely wonderful. Suddenly, my life had meaning. It no longer seemed to matter that I had a master's degree and struggled to find a decent paying job. I started to believe because I was constantly being told that I had an important mission to fulfill on the planet. They called it my sacred dream, and I could learn ancient magical practices that would help me generate all the resources I ever needed to live out my full potential. I could not imagine being any happier. It was easy to think I was getting involved into something good. They used words like free will and individuality and creative originality and spiritual illumination. They were teaching me how to be confident. The skills I learned helped me get jobs and deal with my emotional issues. I met the man I would later marry, and we received guidance and coaching that would supposedly help us maintain a co-empowered relationship. For the rest of our lives, a lot of what this group teaches is just repackaging Psychology 101. It's the same spiral used by every personal development program on the planet. Life has pain, but healing is possible. If we discover the root cause of our pain, we can set ourselves free. All we need to do is take self-responsibility of our healing and be willing to learn from our mistakes. We need to eliminate self-doubt and negative thoughts and negative emotions. This is how we can expand our consciousness, which will bring you riches, feel worthy and deserving, and the universe will send you all kinds of abundance. They use these abstract concepts to draw you in and make you believe you are benefiting from incredibly enriching information. If you knew the details of my childhood, you would understand why all of this was so appealing to me. And it was the first time I was hearing stuff like this. So naturally, I thought I had stumbled across a gold mine. Like many cults, these folks were masters at using things like intense breath work, heat, fasting, dancing, and meditation sessions to induce trance like states in participants. There is nothing wrong with these kinds of activities, but they do lower a person's critical defenses. They suppress the analytical abilities of the conscious mind, and this is how they effectively indoctrinate their followers. We did not do drugs, we did not use alcohol, we did not even smoke weed. It never once occurred to me to question their motives. I had no idea there were hidden agendas at work. I went along with their belief system and life philosophy. I kept up a rigorous daily routine of constant self-examination, meditation, and exercise. All in all, I ended up giving them close to 6,000 US dollars for my personal development training. There is a metaphor in the cult recovery world called the self-breaking moment. When you are in a cult, there are all kinds of red flags. Even though you see them, you learn to ignore them. So a little thing happens and you put it on a shelf, you forget about it and carry on. Because what else are you going to do? Groupthink is powerful, and the leaders who are monitoring you assure you that absolutely nothing is wrong. Then something else happens and you put that also on shelf, and you keep putting these little things on the shelf. This goes on for weeks, months, years, or even decades, and the shelf gets heavier and heavier. But eventually the shelf breaks. It's what I call the "oh, I'm in a cult" moment. My shelf began cracking in 2020. For the previous 7 years, I had been attending their sacred sexuality workshops called, I'll not say the word. I had been told this would help me recover from sexual abuse I had experienced earlier in life. Unfortunately, these workshops are exploitative and damaging. They are taught by unlicensed teachers who are completely brainwashed. My childhood traumas, my PTSD got worse, and my marriage was on a lifeline. Then the whole world shut down because of COVID-19, including my cult. I could no longer attend my cult's re-indoctrination events. COVID-19 had removed that option. This, it turns out, was my path to freedom. Time away from the cult gave me time for influence, Time away from the cult gave me time for influence, free reflection. It gave me time to invest in other activities, such as visiting family for the first time in a while or in a decade. And I started to get my mind back. My husband and I left for good in 2021. It's honestly been a rough, confusing, and expensive road to recovery. Healing is a mysterious process. It does not follow any rules. But I'm learning to forgive myself. What helps the most is to accept and feel all the feelings and remind yourself that everything I learned I can use to help others. The reasons why I'm sharing this story is there are people out there struggling and they think joining a cult will help them. But in most cases, it does not help. Rather, it worsens your situation. It gives you the mind and conscience to think that you are in a right path, to think you are on the right road, to think these people you joined know you. But as time passes or as time goes by, you will realize that you are just falling in a deeper pitch than what you were in. If you want to heal from anything, mental illness, depression, stress, anxiety, and all sorts of things that are going on around the planet. You have to give yourself space. You have to accept and own your stuff and take responsibility of whatever is happening to you. If you have been through a traumatic upbringing, you have to accept that is what life served you with. But how do you go about it? You do not just say, okay, I'll just join some cult, okay, I'll just look for comfort from anywhere. People also have their own issues and they are seeking comfort from other people. So guys, this is our story. Hope you liked it. If you find it interesting, please give us a thumbs up, and if you have a story to share with us, you can leave a comment into our comment section. We shall be contacting you. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and share out our video, of course.